Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, it's been a really long time since I've done a podcast episode, and I have named my podcast everything from the Maroon Mic to the Observer to the this to that. We're just gonna go ahead and stick with my name. This is the Roe A. Love podcast, okay? Because that's what works. If you hear children talking in the background, I have decided that I want to do my podcast whether I'm a mom with multiple children or not, you know? And I am a mom with several children. I have 8 kids and 6 dogs and 4 cats. But who's counting? Who is counting? I'm not counting. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to be recording regardless of what's going on in my environment. Of course, I'm going to try to keep it as quiet as possible. But realistically, if we had to wait until we could hear a pin drop, it would never happen because my house is lively. It's full of life. It's full of happiness. It's full of joy, abundance, prosperity. And I mean, come on. Like, those things, those attributes are loud, they're not subtle, okay? We are the salt of the earth. We cannot be hidden. Anyway, so with that being said, today I want to talk to you guys about living in hope will keep you broke. I want to talk about that. All right. I'm laying on my bed and I'm thinking about how crazy it is that I was raised to always keep the faith and keep hope alive. What the fuck is keeping hope alive when in order to get anything done, you got to get off your ass, get up, get out and get some, right? Like, am I bugging? Is it me? I know it's not me, okay? And hope feels good, all right? It softens the edge of reality. It gives you something to hold on to when things aren't moving, when money isn't coming in, when life feels like it's circling instead of expanding. Hope keeps your spirit from collapsing under pressure. And for that, it has its place. It really does, right? But hear me out. Hope is passive as fuck. Okay? And that's the part most people refuse to confront. They refuse to confront that. They don't want to confront that. And, hope doesn't move anything, it doesn't move shit. It doesn't create, it doesn't shift, it doesn't build. It simply waits. And waiting disguised as positivity is one of the most expensive habits you can have. I mean, it's right up there with cocaine. You feel me? You can hope your situation changes. You can hope money finds you. You can hope your circumstances improve. But if your behavior, your decisions, and your identity stay the same, nothing actually moves. You're just emotionally stabilizing yourself inside a loop that keeps repeating. Why? Why do you do that? That's why people stay stuck for years while feeling like they're trying. I'm trying. What the fuck's going on? Nothing's changing. It's because you hoping. Less hoping, more doing. Get up. All right? Because hoping does feel like effort, but it's not. It's comfort. Hope is comfort. All right? And real change doesn't come from hope. It comes from decision. And decision is immediate. It's not something you wait for. It's not something you execute. You don't hope to become disciplined. You decide to operate with discipline. It's a choice. A choice. That's what I want you guys to understand. Changing your life is a choice away. It's the difference between drinking water and having a soda. It's as simple as that. For some people, that's the thin line between diabetic and not diabetic. It's the decisions that you're making. Even the tiny ones, like the fucking toilet paper that you choose to wipe with, 1-ply or 2-ply. Everybody knows there is a difference. And depending on what kind of shitty situation you're in, each one is appropriate for a different circumstance. No two toilet papers are made the same. And even that choice changes the trajectory of the kind of day that you're gonna have. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you don't hope for more money. You decide to move in ways that produce it. And you don't hope for, life transformations out of thin air. You become the version of yourself that lives differently starting now. And this is where most people break because hope allows you to stay who you are while wishing for a different outcome. And decision forces you to confront yourself. It demands that you change your patterns, your habits, your standards. Hope says maybe things will get better. Decision says, I am different now. And that shift is everything, okay? Because reality doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are consistently doing. It responds to identity expressed through action, not feelings, not wishes, not potential. And I know there's a fuck ton of you out there that have a whole lot of that, okay? And ambition and audacity. Some of you have an abundance of audacity. And you know what? I'm not mad at you for it, because in order to get anything done, you need a high level of audacity to go out there and do it. I mean, when those two brothers was up in the sky talking about they gonna fly a plane, they had a fuck ton of audacity, because everybody on the ground was like, "You motherfuckers are crazy." Okay, so yeah, if you audacious, don't worry, I'm not hating on you for that. Okay, execution. If your current identity produces struggle, then holding on to the hope without changing your behavior just locks you into the same result. And you can feel better about it temporarily, but you're still operating from the same blueprint. You first must change, not gradually, not someday, not when you feel ready. Not when you feel ready. My phone just rang. I'm sorry about that. I hope it didn't like blip out my thing, but I was saying you must first change, not gradually, not someday, not when you feel ready. Change happens in a single moment of decision. You choose to move differently. You choose to think differently. You choose to stop negotiating with the version of you that keeps you stagnant. Okay? And then you act on it. That's where the power lives, not in hoping something outside of you shifts. It's crazy. How can you expect change to happen in your life, but everything around you is changing and you're not? What? What? No. No. All right? No. Power lives in becoming the force that creates the shift. And hope is useful for survival. Believe you me, it is. Hope has gotten me out of a pickle or two or 10. All right? And it keeps you from, why is he screaming like this? Anyway, it keeps you from collapsing when things are hard. I gotta wrap this up. My kids they just know I'm recording a podcast episode, y'all. I'm so sorry, okay? My family is very much gonna be a part of this podcast. I can see this, it's just a thing, all right? We're a whole TV show over here. I can't even record an episode in peace. As you can see, this is why you have not had an episode in a while. But just bear with me, okay? Who knows? The kids might even join in on an episode one day. But listen, hope is useful for survival, and it keeps you from collapsing when things are hard. All right. But if you stay there too long, it becomes a trap, because the longer you rely on hope, the longer you delay action, and the longer you stay in the circumstances that you yourself say that you want to change, the more expensive your inaction becomes. You ever hear that saying, the longer you take to get off a train after you miss your stop, the longer and the more expensive it is for you to get home? Yes. It's the same concept. So if you want different results, you don't need more hope. You need a decision. You need to make up your mind. And then you need to follow it with movement that proves it was real. But anyway, this is another episode of the Roe Love Podcast. I have to get back to my family. I really hope that today's message is a blessing to you all. Visit my website for more on me and where to find anything that you may have a question about that has anything to do with Roe Love. www.roelove.com. That's www.roehlove.com. Make sure you stop by, holler at your girl, join one of my communities, sign up for the Patreon, do something on there. Go click around. There's even like free content on there. Who doesn't love free content? Until next time, peace.